Hello, beautiful. Today we are talking about which energies within yourself and which archetype in general, and why it is one of the most important archetypes to connect and embody if you really desire to reclaim your power, stay in your center, harness and collect the energies within yourself that you can then use to manifest the life you truly desire, the relationship, the business, the health, their life experiences. It starts from you reclaiming your inner power, and which is the archetype that, like no any other archetypes, helps you with that. So stay until the end because we will be doing the actual practice. But first, let's explore, let's talk why we got disconnected from that archetype, what it is, and yeah, how we can reclaim it back. First of all, it's as you know, it hasn't been very safe to be a witch. And what is the witch? Witch is wise woman. It's the woman who is connected to her own wisdom, to her own body, to the earth and to the cosmos. It's the woman who knows how to heal herself and others. It's the woman who knows the wisdom of being a woman, who knows and understands the cycles of nature and of her own body. And she knows how the energies work in nature and within herself, and she knows how to harness those energies and use them. And how did we get disconnected from that archetype? We're not even gonna talk about persecution and inquisition, okay? We're not, you know about that already. But how it manifests in our modern world, why we are still disconnected. Yes, there is that ancestral trauma, of course, like on a genetic level we still remember that it wasn't safe, so maybe it's still not safe. But what we're doing in this lifetime, from the early age, since we're born, especially women, little girls, we're not taught to feel strong and like equal to adults. And maybe this is changing now, but at least in the time I grew up, like as kids, right, we feel little. Not just girls, boys as well, but I feel like with girls it's especially like we kind of supposed to be little and girly and know your space and don't get angry. That's a big one, right? And so what we use in order to stay safe as a little girl, you learn how to wrap your energy. So we waste so much energy wrapping it around other people, kind of trying to gauge where they at. So then we can adjust our own energy, so then we can stay safe. So it's like that's why we're becoming people pleaser, because okay, it's not safe to be angry, it's not safe if people don't like me, especially if my mother or my teacher, my father. And we start to adjust, so we waste so much energy kind of constantly sampling the energy of other people and making, so we're going out of a center in order to adjust a self, adjust a behavior, and we spend so much precious energy on that, or on making sure that people are okay, that you are not too much, and that you are just enough, and that you are convenient and pleasant. So this is what I mean by good girl energy. And it doesn't mean that we cannot experience that's pleasant, nice, naive behavior. Of course it's here, it's part of being feminine. But today I want to really connect with the opposite archetype, with the shadow archetype. Why I call it shadow archetype? It's not really shadow archetype, but it's archetype that calls you into facing your shadows. Because until you face your own shadows, which are what? Since you are trying not to see in yourself, you might call it some negative energies, insecurities, negative emotions. Again, it can be anger, it can be jealousy, it can be judgments. So any of those feelings, any projections, if you're not facing them, if you're not recognizing, because often we're just so scared to see it in ourselves, we just don't want to feel that, we don't want to feel like we are bad, so we just disconnect from that at all. But it's still there, and it's ruling our life without us understanding why we're attracting what we don't want to attract. That's why, because those shadows, they rule our lives. So the first step that a witch does, she connects with her own shadow. She takes fearless, yeah, look at yourself and accepts it. Accepting doesn't mean you act on that. Accepting means you recognize it in yourself, and then you recognize it in others. Once you recognize it, then we can use the alchemical process, which I'll get to later on, and we can actually take the energies out of that negative programs, negative beliefs. Once we alkalize them, we can just take it as a pure manifesting energy, but alkalizing first, accepting and really purifying it through your heart, through your love. So as a witch, you have to learn how to pay attention to what's happening within yourself. So which, if we look into the cycle, we can look into the cycle of life, we can look into the cycle of a month. So the witch archetype would corresponds to the yin, the most yin face. That's why we're in dark. So yin corresponds with black color, with darkness, with deep dark waters, with coldness, with winter, with going inward, reflecting, relaxing, take a deep rest, and from that resting space, very relaxed, very connected space, so there is no stress, no agitation in which. From that space, then the new life, the new manifestations are starting. But first we need to dive in. And as a witch, you have to learn how to keep an arrow of attention inward. If we do the percentage, let's say, you have to learn how to keep 70% of your attention to your inner world. So it means your emotions, noticing how you're feeling, being aware how you're feeling at every single moment. Being aware of your body, because your body holds so much wisdom, so much knowledge, and if you really want to know how you feel, you have to go from your head into the body. Then let's say if you're applying this archetype when you're in a, let's say maybe social situation, how to use it, how stop leaking your energies to try to please everybody around, and like adjust. Am I okay? Am I enough? Am I too much? Oh, like how can I fit in? Like no, that's not what witch does. The arrow of attention still goes within. So 70% is your observation of your inner world. And yeah, that takes guts in the beginning if you're not used to it. Instead of like looking for the danger outside, you're like, no, I just trust my body. I'm staying in and I'm absorbing my inner space. Then 20% of your attention goes into energetic observation of the space of the room. Again, it's not like, yeah, you might glance as well, but it's more you just feeling with your all of your senses and with your sixth sense as well. So you just feel the energy of the room and you communicate with that energy. And then 10% then can go to a specific person or people. But even that, you can understand a person a lot more if you connected more to your own body, because the body doesn't lie. But the words, if you just listen to people's words, it's so easily to get confused or not to know exactly what person really means. But if you stand in your body, you know the truth. You can really see through the person. You can know everything about the person. But first, you have to know everything about yourself. It's just fair, right? And so from that space, okay, now we're going back from the social situation, we're just going into your own practice now. So how to practice this energy? Because it takes time. This is something that we've been really trained out of. So in your practice with yourself, and we're gonna do it in a minute, I'm just gonna explain it in a couple words. First, we are going to harness the energy of the cosmos and the energy of the earth, and we're gonna combine it, connect it in the cauldron, energetic cauldron in your womb. That's where we can store the energy. We never store energy in the head. You might know it from yoga practices, Tao practices. So it's actually all related. So it's all of those energetic practices tells you about, like, you only harness and store the energy in your navel point, in your belly, in your womb. In your womb, actually, you're more like it's a place of transformation and rebirth and manifestation. So we store it in the navel point. It's like 2 fingers below the belly button. Then we can, as I mentioned, transmute all sorts of energies as we're connecting with yin and yang channel. So yin being the feminine channel, receptive vessel. So when we're doing this practice, by the way, we're also expanding our capacity to receive and to hold love, to hold money, to hold resources. Because if that inner container is not big, is not strong, even if you start manifesting something, you're just gonna lose it right away. You won't feel safe. You won't have capacity to receive and to hold. So we have to strengthen and expand the energetic, this yin container, and I showing in the front because it is in the front of the body. And at the back of the body, from the tailbone, at the back of your spine, goes all the way around to the third eye point. That's the yang, that's the masculine channel, that's the fiery energy that goes up, and the watery energy that goes down here. And those channels meet. They meet in 2 points. They meet in your perineum, and they meet here at the third eye point. This is Tao practice, and I feel like as a witch you have to know how to circulate those energies, because that's how we can expand them in very safe manner, and that's how we can store them as well. And that's also your protective shield. Couple words about protective shield or your aura, and also the state of observer, so that consciousness in which you contain everything and you can observe everything. It often corresponds with masculine energy. When we call in on divine masculine, on Shiva, this consciousness, the stillness, the cosmic nothingness, and that's the space or the state of observer. This is the masculine, the divine masculine energy. And as a witch, you have to really be comfortable with this energy. You have to call it in, and you have to have your own strong masculine. It's one of the archetypes where you need strong masculine, just like with the queen, high priestess, even mother archetype. Also, it's not just the feminine energy. You have to have really strong masculine. container in order to have this like expansive feminine energy within as well. All right, shall we do it? So sit up nice and tall. You can sit in cross-legged or sit on your heels. You can sit in the chair as well, but a lot better if you're on the ground or you feel your seat bones, so you can feel your seat bones rocking. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Just connect with the breath. Allow yourself a bit of stretching, connecting with your body, a bit of flowing. And already we started to send that arrow of attention inward, noticing how your body is feeling, how your breath is moving, noticing your emotions, going from your head into the body.